So today I'm going to make this video to inform you I have sold a stock, and this is the worst stock that I have ever bought on the stock market. I bought this stock in 2020 and it has been a stock that I have sold for a big loss. It did not play out the way that I thought it would, and today I'm going to cover that for you guys, because as you know, when I buy a stock I'll let you know, when I sell a stock I'll let you know, and just when we have stocks that are winners I'll talk about it and tell you why that stock was a winner. And when I have a stock that's a loser, I won't hide it. I'll come on here and tell you that I've sold it and I've taken an L and the reasons why it was a loss. So hopefully I can look at that and reflect on that, and hopefully helps me be a better investor. And hopefully some of you guys maybe learn something as well from the video, and hopefully helps you to not make that mistake as well. So hope you enjoy the transparency anyway. It's not a video that I wanted to do, but I'm going to do it. So hope you enjoy it, and let's get started. So I did sell out on my Skillz position, and this was a big loss that I took on the position. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was 90 something %, which is not good at all. Unfortunately, I think if any of you guys have been long-term watchers of the channel, you know there was kind of a the Fab Four that stocks that I bought in 2020, 2021, which hurt my portfolio massively in 2022, and was the main reason why I underperformed the market. Hopefully, well, I think I made some good changes into the portfolio now to shove them out of the portfolio, and then hopefully buy the new stocks that perform very well, which I think is starting to happen with the likes of Mercado Libre, Hims, DraftKings, which is good, but obviously a lesson that is not good. And yeah, I mean, the good thing is that I kept this down to about 10-15% of the portfolio, so it didn't hurt as much as if I had committed 30-40% in the portfolio, then it would have stung even worse. So I guess that's the key thing about diversification. It saved me a little bit, but even with the diversification, having these four stocks and this stock in my portfolio has hurt the returns a little bit during that time period, and has lost me money. So we're going to look at what kind of happened here. Now, Skillz is a stock that I bought in 2020. Originally, when I actually started buying the stock, I was actually at one point, believe it or not, up 100% on Skillz, which is crazy to see right now. But there was the kind of no worry about companies that were losing money. As long as revenue was good, the stock went up, and then we had the pullback on a lot more realistic valuations. And especially in 2022, the stock market punished any stock that lost money. And the worst thing is Skillz lost the most money in 2022, so it massively got punished from that time frame. When I look at why I bought Skillz, they said they were the future of entertainment, and they had plenty of games. Now recently they have stopped disclosing new games, which games were the top 5 games and how many games are making a certain amount of money, which maybe is a sign that I should have really picked on, is trying to make sure that they still have games that are doing very well, and the games that they're producing 1 million of analysed of revenue. If I could manage that, then maybe that should have been a sign I kept track of a little bit more. It does seem like the games have been dropping off a lot recently, and that was probably one cause of why the stock didn't do very well. So maybe I should have managed the games a little bit better, and when the signs that they were talking about the games less and less, maybe should have realised that. And also some of the games that I thought were going to be big hits, like the partnership with the NFL, wasn't very successful, and Big Buck Hunter, I thought that was going to be a big game for them, and it didn't happen. So obviously that didn't work. I bought in thinking this was going to be a big growing industry, gaming growing massively, mobile games especially growing big as well. Now I guess the problem is that what also was a bit of a benefit and then a major headwind for the company is the CV situation, so that really helped them. And then I don't think I really realised how slow the comps would really hurt them. So that's something that I didn't really pick up with this business, that maybe I should have done a little bit better. And like I said, the partnerships, you know, when I was seeing these big partnerships being signed, I thought they would generate good amounts of revenue if they were taking these partnerships, like the NFL. Obviously it turned out to be a very poor deal and poor game in the end for them. So something else that didn't really generate in what I was kind of expecting. And another thing that potentially I could have picked up on is the deterioration in the financials. I probably should have been a bit quicker picking these up. So, I mean, revenue growth was really good. Maybe I should have started picking up the increase in sales and marketing to support the revenue growth. it wasn't too bad in 2020, but by the time we got into 2021, they were still trying to force revenue growth, even though we saw all the hard comps of gaming starting to come in, and that's what pushed the losses up. So maybe I should have been a bit quicker spotting that, and also the ramp up in like G&A and realizing they're just getting a bit too ahead of themselves. And when you look at the financial point of view, you can see here, like previously, the company was doing very well on managing the losses and the revenue. You can see here the losses were really the losses were coming down as the revenue was going up, and the revenue at the time was growing really good rates as the revenue was going up. So at the time, I was actually okay with the losses because they were kind of holding steady and even slightly improving as the revenue growth were going up. As 2020 went on, I was kind of like, yeah, it's okay, because they're kind of taking advantage of the opportunity that is out there and everybody working at home. But then I should have realised by then that the tough comps were coming in, the losses were getting not great, and there was kind of the sign of improvement actually during 2021. But then, as you can see here, the losses just really awful, and unfortunately by the time the losses were at the peak, by then the shares had all relatively gone really low down. So I couldn't really make a decision to jump out, and when the red flags were really showing in my face, it was a bit like, oh well, by the time this had happened, the shares were already down, unfortunately. So yeah, from that point of view, you can kind of see why the financials were actually not too bad previously, but the deterioration should have been something that I picked up on a little bit. Also, something that was a little bit disappointing is the actual CEO, Andrew Paradise. Unfortunately, I had a bit of confidence in him because I looked at his history. He had a pretty decent history with games, or company should I say. He's had companies that have been sold for good money. He's run previously a lot of good companies with good endings through buyouts. And I was looking at Skillz and hoping that, looking at his ownership and thinking, well, he's the biggest shareholder inside the company at 34%, and he's backing the company big time, and hopefully that works out as well. Good, it's insider ownership. Obviously ARK were buying in as well at the time, so you thought that was a good sign if they're buying in, but obviously that didn't work out. What actually has made me laugh quite recently is a lot of shareholders have actually been buying into the company, so I don't know there. I mean, if there's signs of improvement, maybe I can come back to looking at it in the next 2-3 years, but there needs to be a big turnaround on the company. It looks like they're struggling for growth and still way off profitability. I mean, they've got a good cash balance, to be fair. I mean, even with the cash balance they have, they're actually not going to go bankrupt for a good amount of years. I mean, they've got 335 million on the cash, and they've got 121 million in losses. Expected to lose 105 million this year. So I mean, they've got a good kind of 3-year runway on cash until they go bankrupt, really. So they've got a bit of time to turn it around. But for me, I'm not waiting around to see if that happens. And as well with Andrew Paradise, what's been a bit annoying is, I don't know if anyone follows him on Instagram, but honestly, like, he's been putting so many posts about going on holidays and going places, and it's like, really, like, right now with the mess that your company's in, shouldn't you be really focusing on the business and trying to turn this around rather than doing that? So I think that's also been was one of the tipping points as well, to see that happening. So yeah, I mean, overall, not good financially, not very good. And I was just looking at the position, and I thought, if I'm going to keep this position open, I'm basically gambling, and I'm praying that it's going to recover. Financially, it looks like it's nowhere near recovering at the moment, and I'm basically gambling and hoping that it recovers. And realistically, for me to get out break even, I don't think that's ever going to happen, because it would have to go up so much. And even then, if it does go on a very good run, I'm still going to end up taking a big loss, so I might as well take the loss here. Use the limited cash that I've got there. Also helps me not having to research the company anymore. With the cash that I have, at least try recover some of the losses from this one, and it does that, it frees up my time to maybe add in new stock into the portfolio, which I did do, because after I did sell the stock, I then did replace it with a new stock. So when you saw the stocks that I'm buying January edition, you would have seen that there was a stock that I sold that I said I'm hiding at the moment, and giving the Patreon guys a little bit of a notice of the changes that I made, which was this one. And then when I did sell this one, I did buy new stock, which I will reveal in a few days time, and that was a stock that I bought after selling Skillz. So yeah, obviously very disappointed with this one, and it was a very bad pick from myself, and hopefully now I can move on from this stock and the other Fab 4 stocks, and hopefully the new blood into the portfolio can recoup them losses, which do seem to be happening after the rally that we had, which is good, and hopefully we can use it as a learning lesson and move on and improve as an investor. So yeah, just making a video for you guys that I've sold this stock. Obviously I don't want to be talking about this stock for so long on the YouTube channel and quietly hide it out in the background that I've sold it. Obviously you guys know me, I try to be transparent as possible, and even though I don't want to make this video and I don't want to talk about this stock anymore, I owe it to you guys to tell you why I've sold it and that I have sold it, and I think that's only fair. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that anyway. So yeah, see you in a bit, guys.